Hello and welcome to the Rei Sportscar Championship here at the American Oval Blue Moon Bay Speedway. This is the third and final of the sprint races here in Division 2 at this fourth round of Season 8, and let's just have a quick rundown of the grid. In first place is the number 50 car to Hillbrow in the Stars and Stripes, with second place being Drade, who will want a little bit more fortune here today. In third place is the Hungarian Lewis, with fourth place being ERT Mikey. In fifth place is Average Tom, who we'll look at later, with sixth place in the blue card out on the right hand side, being Janai Abroad. In seventh place is the Canadian My Own Parasite, who managed to close back up towards Pack 1 in the previous race. Meanwhile, eighth place is Pixeca and ninth place is Noki. Cyberstrike is not starting this race, and neither is Lazelle, our race winner from race 2. As we go here at the Oval, boogity, boogity, boogity here for the number 50 car. It's quite a spread out rolling start, but they will really close through after turn 1 as they all use to Hillbrow's slipstream and the air he creates. Now, Average Tom already on the inside and hitting the apex, and hitting the apron, sorry, which is going to cost him his speed. Meanwhile, Janai Abroad also getting a slow run, and you can see My Own Parasite is now going to try and work together with him to push him along towards the remaining pack. Pixeca in 8th is still holding on, as is Noki, but back up front we do have Drade almost on the inside of Tahilbro, but Tahilbro just staying in line for now. There is a gap forming though there in 6th place that has been pretty consistent there with Janai Abroad in these 3 races. So Drade pushing to Hillbrow along. If these lot work together, then Janai Abroad, My Own Parasite and the rest will definitely not catch up. But it's Lewis now on the inside, Drade cutting him off into turn 1, and as they head into turn 1 to Hillbrow stuck on the outside, and it's Lewis actually making contact with him, but Drade takes the lead and Lewis is now hung out to dry, meaning to Hillbrow will stay in second, and Mikey using that momentum and using the slipstream of the 2 cars ahead to bump them along and pump. Mikey actually will move himself into third, surely. Oh, there is contact with Lewis. Lewis was still on the inside there as Mikey was not able to get enough of an overlap before the corner. Meanwhile, as we just go on board here with Mikey, we can see to Hillbrow on the inside now, re-overtaking Drade. And in our rear view mirror there is now a massive gap to the likes of Pixeca, Janai Abroad and My Own Parasite. Janai Abroad dropping down. Meanwhile, Pix is actually in the highest position he's been all events so far, in a fantastic 6th place. But if these continue to fight as they are with Noki actually I think maybe hitting Janai Abroad, then this group are not going to catch the rest, and that's very frustrating for My Own Parasite, who has showed he does have some pace here today. Now, a lot of this just comes down to the qualifying session where drivers were looking to actually slipstream the others in qualifying, but if you just stayed out on your own, then you get a bad qualifying, and then it is down to the others to get a good run. And Tahilbro very, very, very aggressive in the final turn, maybe too aggressive, as he goes down onto the yellow apron. And now ERT Mikey is surely going to push Drade along, and that is going to help Mikey as well with the extra little bit of speed he can now get from the back of Drade. Yep, Mikey into second place around the outside of Tahilbro, but Tahilbro can work with Average Tom on the inside now, out of turn 1. You can see here, just on board with the British driver, using the American flag, as he does live in the United States for quite long periods at times. Ooh! Drade tried to come back down the track, but Tahilbro was there. Unfortunate there that we didn't have any big incident. You can see the remaining lot where Noki is maybe dropping off the pack, but it is 2 by 2 here with Drade just trying to settle in and pick a line to choose. As we go into turn 1, Lewis on the inside of Tom, but thinks better of it. Mikey almost in the wall, but he will get a fantastic run out. But he's got nowhere to go. He tries to force Lewis to the left, but not to be, so Mikey unable to make the move. Meanwhile, it's Drade on the inside of Tahilbro, moving into 4th. So a lot has happened so far, but this breakaway is surely going to stay for the rest of this race. So far we have had Mikey win, and we also had Lizelle win, who isn't taking part, but this is a great opportunity for Drade, Tom, Lewis and Tahilbro to maybe pick up a win. Tahilbro not usually fighting for top 5s, but he's been pretty excellent on the ovals, especially after taking pole position. Mikey pushing Tom. Tom actually defending a little bit, so it looked like Mikey was maybe making a move. And Tom moves to the outside, and Mikey and Lewis have big contact, and Lewis has been sent around. Let's get a replay. So we'll go on board from behind with Tahilbro. You can see that Mikey was on the low side there with Tom. Lewis had got a great momentum, and you can see that it was just contact with the front of Lewis's car, and I believe with the left side of Mikey's car. So let's see here. And Lewis is very close to the ball. Maybe Mikey could have given more room. Maybe Lewis could have been closer. It is hard to tell, but the stewards might have a look at that after the race. Well, that drops Lewis down, and I think he might end up 9th. Maybe he can catch up to the people ahead, but it's going to be unlikely for him, and that is a disaster. Meanwhile, in 4th is Drade, who in all of that also lost a lot of speed and has fallen from that top 3 pack. So it was a group of 5, now it is a group of 3. Now, my own Parasite, Janai Abroad, Noki and Pix might soon close up. If they work together, they will certainly work up with Drade, and Drade has shown himself to be working very well here at the Blue Moon Bay Oval, so that will be an extra one to add, and they might therefore end up catching back with Mikey, Tahilbro and Average Tom, who are here. So Mikey did have quite a slow lap last time around with that incident with Lewis, and he dropped down to the back of this opening pack. But we might have a little bit of a calmer race now. Ooh, that was contact between Tahilbro and Mikey, it seemed. Just a quick look further back, we have... it seems like we've only got Mario Parasite very close to the inside there with Janai Abroad. They were actually off the track, I think, on the main straight. Noki sweeping around the outside excellently to move into 5th. Great stuff from the driver from the Bahamas. Now Janai Abroad is now... Well, Janai Abroad is on the back of Mario Parasite, but not going fast enough to bump draft him. But Noki unable to get the momentum and unable to work with anyone to move fully into 5th place. It was looking very good though for a moment. Just a quick look back up front, we do now have Mikey who is now taking the lead with Avery, Tom and Tahilbro side by side. But Tom gets an excellent run out the final corner and will surely work with Mikey and maybe retake the lead soon. And he does so in turn 1, but he doesn't go all the way to the outside, so maybe could have used more speed. He got Drade really pushing hard and actually setting some pretty excellent lap times. Considering he is on his own, if the top 3 continue to fight, he might catch up because his pace is actually somehow quicker than them, even with the slipstreaming and the bump drafting that they've got available to them. Side by side there was Mikey and Tahilbro, but Tahilbro working with his mate, Average Tom, to move into 2nd place. Just a quick look further back therefore at this battle. So Mayan Parasite now leading this pack. Noki getting a good run there out of turn 2. Let's go on board with him. You can see here he will now bump the back of Mayan Parasite fantastically. That gives him a little push which will now help them close towards Drade. Meanwhile in the back you can see Pixtacker now moving into 7th place ahead of July Abroad. If these can continue to work together, they do have a good opportunity of closing up to 4th place Drade. But Noki actually now moving out of line, trying to overtake Mayan Parasite, but now neither of them have slipstream. And I think if we go on board with Pix, we can see that Pix is now going to bump Mayan Parasite. No, he only just slows down. No bumping, surprisingly. That's not the best option from Pixtacker. And maybe a little bump could have allowed Mayan Parasite to fall back into line ahead. But itself, they're still side by side. That's going to slow them both up still. And what I was just saying about them potentially catching up Drade is now not to be. Bump drafting is expected, let's say, of drivers. It is a part of the racing here on this oval circuit. And by not using it, it is going to stop giving that extra momentum to other cars, which can then help you with extra draft. Back up front, and we've got Average Tom still leading here. But of course it has been up and down for the three of them as they're almost 3 abreast. But of course with an oval race the pace positions are going to change constantly. It's just about being there at the right time, at the right moment. Drade's still pushing in 4th, and I think well, Mikey's taken the lead, but there has been an incident further back, or has there? Is that Mayan Parasite? It is. Let's catch this. He was in 5th, and for some reason he's down right on the inside of the track for the road course. So July Abroad is on the inside, and Pix has actually, I think, hit July Abroad, and eventually Mayan Parasite has been forced right to the inside of the circuit, his driver shaking like mad. Let's only catch a replay from Pixtacker. So he brakes far too late. You can see he hits July Abroad, hits Mayan Parasite, and then in the rearview mirror we can see Mayan Parasite losing the acceleration and going towards the road course section. Now he might get going again, and he might be able to close back up, but that is a couple of seconds lost, and it is going to be tough for him. Drade's still running good lap times, but these top 3 have been working a little bit better now, and they have been pulling away by a few tenths a lap. Oh, what is going on here with Noki? Noki all over the place. And hitting July Abroad into the wall there going into turn 1. Viewers might need to look at that. Let's actually just catch a replay of the happenings on. Coming out of the final turn, he just continues turning left. He almost drives into the pit lane. And then when going back onto the track, he then moves left again, moves right again, and this is the kind of stuff that is going to actually allow Mayan Parasite a chance to close back in. Because as these don't work together, and Mayan Parasite gets a fantastic run through turn 1, carries the extra speed, and will surely close to the back of July Abroad and Noki, who are already at a lower speed than Mayan Parasite. We've got a car around its Average Tom. Who would have thought that? As we catch to it, we cut, and straight away we have a big incident. So Tahilbro's on the inside, and I think he's got turned right into Tom. Let's actually go on board with Tahilbro. Was this an unjust move? Did Tom turn in on Tahilbro? He's been our race leader for most of the race. Oh, was there a gap there? I'm not too sure. Tom wasn't fully close to the apron, but it certainly wasn't a full car width, and Average Tom is going to be furious with that. He drops to 8th, he drops to 9th actually due to the slow rejoin off the grass. And what could have been a race win for our championship contender is now only going to be a couple of points. ERT Mikey, for some reason, trying to avoid the slipstream from Tahilbro, but by doing so he compromised his run into turn 1. He compromised his run on the exit, and this is incredibly strange from Mikey. Well, he might be able to pull away from doing this, but by not using all of the track, Tahilbro is actually building up more speed. You can see that he's only been closing in already. And I don't think this strategy works on an oval. This might work on a normal road course to try and avoid the slipstream, but by doing so he's also avoiding the banking. And yeah, look at this. This gap has closed and Tahilbro's got the slipstream again. That was a huge mistake from Mikey to try and go to the inside, because in doing so all he did was ruin his own racing line through turn 1 and ruin his own racing line through turn 2. Tahilbro is back in the game and we have a battle here for the race win. Drade, he's been putting consistent lap times, but he's still on his own in 3rd, Pixteca in 4th, Janaya Broad in 5th, so great stuff from the pair of them. Although of course there was the incident just a moment ago with my own Parasite. No key, what's happened to him? Well, for some reason we've also got my own Parasite moving drastically to the inside. I don't understand the logic behind that. Maybe I'm missing something crucial here. And then Noki just on the exit of turn 1. Okay, I've missed something major there. I don't know what I'm seeing. But Noki and my own Parasite have now closed back in. Lewis is in 8th and actually now closing those in, with them for some reason driving wildly towards the inside of the track, and then Average Tom in 9th, but back up front, and again Mikey going to the inside. But I don't think he understands that slipstream is just part of the racing here in an oval. You're not going to just be able to avoid it and then pull away in the corners, because there's only 3 corners and only one of them requires any kind of turning, as again we've got my own Parasite doing a very similar thing. But Tahilbro is in the slipstream. Mikey isn't going to be able to pull away in the technical sections because there are no technical sections, but by compromising his own racing line, Tahilbro is now fighting for the lead again and has moved to the inside for turn 3 and will retake the lead here even after the incident with Average Tom. Drade in 3rd, Pixteca and Janaya Broad in 4th and 5th. My own Parasite is now in 6th, fighting with Lewis and Noki. Lewis doing a good job to catch back up, but let's just catch that. We can see here Lewis overtaking Noki into turn, oh, bit of contact, but Lewis getting by and will want to work with my own Parasite. And then Average Tom in 9th, who I don't think is going to be able to gain much unless he can gain from Noki. Doesn't seem like any car is wildly going to the inside this time around, with just 6 laps to go. Tahilbro on the outside and Mikey on the inside. Meanwhile, further back we've got Pixteca fighting with Janaya Broad, and Pixteca running in a fantastic 4th position. Not a position that we may normally see, but he has drove excellently here in this 3rd sprint race. He's avoided some of the trouble and he has worked pretty well with Janaya Broad. And you can see Janaya Broad actually bumping him slightly, because if they bump each other they can close in on Drade. They're doing 53.7 last lap, 55.0 from Drade, so yeah, Drade has lost quite an unusual amount of time on that previous lap, and they're not too far away from getting some slipstream. And then just further back we've got Lewis and my own Parasite battling out for 6th. Maybe if they work together they can pull away from Noki. But back up front it's Mikey and Tahilbro, which is now pretty much just a duo, and it is all about being in the right place in 5 laps time. If you lead coming onto the final lap, it may be that the person second is able to overtake and hold for the rest of that. Oh, we've got a spin. We have a big incident. It's involving Janaya Broad and Pixteca. They were running in 4th and 5th. They were catching up Drade very, very well with some fantastic working, but just going into turn 1, there's some big contact and Pix goes into the wall, unable to really see if anyone is at fault. But Pix drops down and is going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4 positions I think in total. Really unfortunate for him there. Not much that maybe could have been done, it just 2 cars very close together. He might be able to battle it out with Alfred Tom. Maybe they can work together in the closing stages. Mayan Parasite and Lewis are now fighting for 5th and 6th after the roller coaster of a race both of these have had. Lewis has gone from 9th to 5th in about 5 laps, it seems. And maybe if these two can work together, they can make that 9th to 4th, because Janai Abroad is on his own and has no slipstream from Drade. Back up front, we have Tahilbro on the inside of Drade, and almost big contact as Drade actually gets very swervy. Sorry, Mikey gets very swervy at the exit of turn 1. So we can actually see here that if Tahilbro is actually slipstreaming on the back straight, when is he able to make a move? Because if we look at it now, we can use this to determine who might win on the final lap. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be leading into turn 1? Do you want to be leading into turn 2? Or do you want to be behind for the entire lap and maybe try and overtake just before the finish line? We can see there that Tahilbro was behind after turn 1, but made the overtake through turn 2 and 3, but got a really poor run out of turn 3 and actually doesn't cross the line in first. Meanwhile, if Tahilbro actually is behind through turn 1 and gets a great run as he done this time, will he overtake earlier and maybe overtake just before turn 2? This is the sort of thing that Mikey should be thinking about at this point of the race, as well as Tahilbro. Mikey trying to defend a little bit as Tahilbro does go to the inside, so it's pretty much a carbon copy of the last lap. And last lap, Mikey just went clean around the outside and kept the lead, and you know what, I think the exact same has happened here. Mikey does get the better run. Tahilbro, as they cross the line, Tahilbro is behind again, so yeah, this is really what these drivers need to be thinking about. Maybe Tahilbro wants to actually be leading into turn 1 and try and hold it for the rest of the lap. Maybe he wants to overtake later rather than overtaking into turn 3. Maybe he should stay behind for turn 3 and overtake on the exit. If Tahilbro just repeats himself, he won't get anywhere. Drade is now fighting with 3rd for Janai Abroad, Lewis in 5th, Mayan Parasite in 6th, and Noki still there in 7th, as they have been battling quite a bit, so Noki has stayed with them. 8th is Pix, now fighting with Average Tom. But back up front, and again Tahilbro is trying to get on the inside. And yet again Mikey going around the outside, but this time I think Tahilbro is going to lead at the line. And he does, so if this was the end of the race, Tahilbro would get the full 20 points, Mikey would only get 16. It's the first time we've seen Mikey behind at the line for quite a while now. Going into turn 1, Tahilbro is surely going to get the better exit though, as Mikey was on the inside, but well, maybe slightly, but Tahilbro didn't use too much of the banking. Just a quick look further back, in Janai has actually now moved up into the podium places, just with 2 laps to go. It was just a simple move on the start-finish straight, it seems. Back up front, Tahilbro actually making the move now into turn 2, and might actually be leading as they cross for the white flag. If this was the final lap, who would be winning? Ooh, it would be Tahilbro by a whisker. But this is going to be a carbon copy to lap 22. It is now lap 23. Yet again, Mikey on the inside, Tahilbro on the outside. Who is going to come out on top? Based on the last lap, it's too close to call. And Tahilbro doesn't have the slipstream. He does now. Mikey goes to the inside. Tahilbro as close as he can be. He's revving that in 4th gear. And, oh, there's a bit of weaving, but I think the weaving is actually just from Tahilbro. I don't think Mikey was actually weaving too much. And we have not seen Tahilbro on the outside yet. Mikey defends to the inside yet again, but this time Tahilbro is having to go to the outside. We have not seen that, and this is strategic genius, actually, from Mikey this time around. This might be what keeps him ahead as we cross to the line. We haven't seen Tahilbro in this position, and I think it's too late for him to make the move. As you see, Mikey crosses the line for the checkered flag. Fantastic win from Mikey to force Tahilbro to the outside for the first time in 5 laps there. Drade is coming across the line in 3rd, just ahead of Janai Abroad, with 5th place being Mayan Parasite, Lewis ZGD, Noki TM. Let's just catch a replay of some of that other action. So let's just watch Janai Broad and Drade. Again, very similar to the top two, as this is just a duo battling it out. Further back we did have here Mayan Parasite on the inside of Lewis. Noki was too far back to do much. Meanwhile, Janai Broad actually not on the inside lane, trying to use some of the banking, but Drade has just pulled this off expertly to get ahead with a late move on the inside. And Drade has just used all of the track that he is able to on the exit. And Janai Broad having to settle in. Meanwhile, further back you can see that Mayan Parasite did take that 5th place. Noki staying in 7th, and then it is going to be Average Tom in 8th. Pixteca comes across the line in 9th. Has he had another incident that we haven't noticed? This was on lap 22. He was still battling with Tom at this point, but just in the final turn. There's been unfortunate rear to front contact that sent him around. Nothing that could have been done from either driver. We hope you've enjoyed this race of the Rei Sportscar Championship. We'll see you for round 5, which will be at the Red Bull Ring Short Circuit, and I have a feeling it might be quite rainy. But well done to ERT Mikey and to Hillbro and Drade for the podium.